We'll wait till a few of y'all get settled, get in the room. We are live from Washington, D.C. I'm super excited about being here and being in the space where we can stay engaged to what's happening here at our capital in D.C. So I'm gonna wait till a few more of you get in the room. We're on break right now, and I felt a need to get on here and give you a couple of updates and really try to really kind of put some, I wouldn't say ease, because there's nothing easy about what's happening right now with the amount of executive orders that's being signed and the propaganda that's being placed out, the reality of where we at as a country and what we're dealing with in our local communities. This is very real. And when I say propaganda, I mean some people are trying to scare us to do some things or act in such a way where we've never been here before. They're trying to get us to move in positions that will cause us to lose, I would think, to lose everything that we have because we're acting out of fear. And that's just not how I operate. That's not how the people around me operate. And that's not how I've been taught to operate, is out of a place of fear. We do have to have some concern about what we're doing, but that doesn't mean we have to be distracted or we have to take on this position of we don't know what we're doing and we haven't been here before. And one would ask, not even would ask, if you know me, you know I like to be up front. I like to be in the spaces where the decisions are being made. I want to hear from myself. I want to be able to articulate my position in such a way where I know what I'm doing. I have a clear understanding about what I'm saying. I like to study things that's coming across, because in Pontiac, in our community, we cover a lot. We have wealth, we have poverty, we have, what we just say, the terms of the have and the have nots, if you will. We have various cultures. We're very diverse in that community. We have a high population of Latinos in our community, and I'm gonna be truthfully and honest with you, is that that population of citizens and residents, and we have some that's documented and undocumented. Like, we have a cadre of individuals who are scared right now, right? Because things are just being done in such a way where nobody knows what's next. But I wanted to come to DC this particular week when Congress is in session to be able to have conversations with people who may not have the same thoughts that I have, but may have the ability to make a decision on our community. That's why I'm here. And it's on the school board side, the education side, and the municipal side. And so this is where the action is taking place. This is where things are happening. And so I don't like secondhand information. Our congressional folks that we send here, and I have plans on just saying hello and meeting with Haley Stevens since I'm here, and then also Gary Peters. We're going to have a conversation. We have breakfast with him tomorrow morning, just to look, what is the real? What are you hearing? Because the news can be saying one thing, and something else can be happening, and I tell you this, one thing that I've seen since I've been here is the heart of people who are genuinely wanting to know how to help their communities, right? That's what I'm seeing. That's personally what I'm witnessing here, and then that plane crash that took place a couple days ago, right before I landed, right after I landed, excuse me. It kind of some things put a perspective to you. There were children on that plane. There were families on that plane. There were people who were waiting for that plane to land to get their loved ones here, etc. And you hear this this is me. This is why I have this platform. It's devastating to hear leadership go in a different direction and steady making that the concern and the priority is the lives that were lost in that plane crash. And that, to me, no matter who is the president, no matter who is what side of the aisle that you're on, what your political views are and things of that nature, nothing should stop humanity. Nothing should stop heart. Nothing should stop um, the empathy that people should feel when it comes to that type of incident, when it comes to incidents of children losing their lives way too soon, in my opinion. But I have a higher power. I have a higher faith that I believe that God is ultimately in control of everything that we do, no matter what. And that there's a rationale and a reason beyond my understanding as a man, that I would never be able to comprehend or understand some things. But I know for a fact, because of the things that God has done for me, that there has to be a plan. Now, what is the plan in moving forward? I think we have to be strategic, and I think we have to be sensitive enough to be able to see what's before us, right? To see and understand where we're at and what we're doing and who are the people that we have around us. We need to start taking advantage of the moments that we have and stop waiting on somebody to come save us. Stop waiting on somebody to be the greatest leader. We are now, not even trying to, we have to be intentional about relationships, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and how we're moving. You know, I do have some announcements when I get back home, and that's that. And if you know, you know. But this is not the place, or this is not the moment. The moment is for me to get here to DC, so I can have conversations firsthand and help solidify and build relationships as this new Congress is coming in, so I can get better understanding of how I can help my community back at home. Because it's about the work. It is about the work. It is about the vision. And the vision don't stop because certain places change in leadership. We have to pivot. We have to pivot and still make our way towards where we say we want to be. Now, I will tell you this. Is this a time for us to walk away, close our eyes, and act like things are not happening? No, it's not. This is the time where leaders are supposed to say, what are we going to do for the next generation? What are we going to do to make sure that whatever is happening, that we are better prepared to handle it and then make the necessary adjustments to move us in a greater position? Because I'm one to believe, and it's not just being blindly optimistic. There's an executive order, I think it went down yesterday about 3 o'clock, and they want to reorganize the Department of Education. And when you hear that, the first thing you thinking in your mind is, oh my God, this man is thinking about really, talking about our public education system. Well, we do need to have a system or relook at what the system is, but it's how you put out certain things. Putting out certain things as a scare tactic, like with all of these executive orders that don't necessarily affect the states in a direct way. It's very indirect, because the threats could be, well, I'm going to withhold federal funding. Some of the this is DC that we're in. Some of the federal employees that's here, I've been out talking, having conversations with them. They've said that this is not the first time that they've had to go through something like this, a change. Every time a president comes in, there's some change at the federal level as far as employees is concerned and what's happening. And so you have to get all this information firsthand. And again, social media, news, things that's great to have part of the information, but then you have to do your own fact checking. And so, again, that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm going to stay engaged to what's going on, so I can make sure that the people that I'm serving, the teams that I'm a part of, the nonprofits that I help lead a vision and a mission towards helping and serving a demographic of people, I'm gonna make sure that I'm prepared. And that's just the expectation, and that's just what the reality of it should be and is. And so, I do have a few things that I do want to drop into you. I didn't get a chance to do Sun Slappers today. We started out early, about 7 o'clock, so I had to get my workout in about 5, and then I was just running a little bit behind. And so I didn't get a chance to get Sun Slappers in to get you motivated, but it's Saturday, it's about 11:18 here, so we should be on the same time back at home. let me pull this up so you can get this. Another thing, I forgot this, and I keep running through this. If you haven't gotten over a chance to get to the YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe. We're going live on YouTube and Facebook right now. I would appreciate if you help join the community of individuals who have learned to trust the process and move their process into purpose, and that purpose into finding their assignment, so that we all connect and we all better together. Also, get over to the Trust the Process Facebook page, if you will. There's some content over there that you need to see, get out, ask questions about, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. With that being said, I want to put this out here to you, and I think I just brought this up. Look, I remember when I wanted what I currently have, and I'm grateful. Remember when you decided that you said, hey, I wanted to be in this certain field. I wanted to do a certain thing. Well, that's the time. The time is that this is now. This is it. It's not about always just sharing the good parts of the dream, right? You have to, I said this and I made this post the other day about night vision, right? You gotta be able to see during the dark times too, right? You will adjust. You will adjust. Like, we will adjust to what's going on. But once our eyes and our focus adjust to what's going on, what actions are we going to put forward? And I can tell you what, my actions are going to stay the same. I am going to continue to work. We're going to continue to strive and making sure that we are getting people the necessary help that they need. Can we always do things better? Absolutely. Absolutely. But how do we do that? We do it together. And I remember the life that I'm visualizing right now, the life, me being even to talk on, be in DC to even have these type of conversations with the respected leaders in the country, that God has given me favor to be able to have these conversations and bring some solutions to the things that we're looking for. That is a blessing. That is an honor, and I pray for that. And so this is now not the time for me to sit back, or any of us to sit back and just kind of watch and make up things. And anybody can make up something to say, right? Anybody can just, or I got this going on over here. But what do you really have going on? These are the times to produce the receipts. These are the times that you really go under fire, see what you made of. And so I pray for things like this. And I know you did too. So we here now. The other part. Always do what you are afraid to do. Always do what you are afraid to do. A lot of times we look at something and we be like, you know what? That's too big for me. That's too big for me. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Well, that's when you're supposed to be pressing towards it. I think that's when you're supposed to be making your mark, and you're supposed to be saying, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. Because what do you have to lose? Because I guarantee you that whatever it is that you're afraid to change is the same thing that's anchoring you down and holding you back. I remember when oh my goodness. I remember when there was a time in my life that even in my professional career that I didn't feel, it was like survivor's remorse. Like, I felt like because of where I came from and who I was and where I grew up and how I grew up and how things have transpired over the years, the multiple mistakes that I've made, things that those things used to define me, they used to hold me back. And I used to be afraid to confront them. Till finally, I started confronting the issues of why I did some of the things that I did. And I began to forgive myself on a lot of levels of saying that if there are mistakes that's made and I can bounce back from the mistakes, then what would happen if I use that information to help others bounce off of their mistakes, to not settle on or get trapped into what they did? So that's what I did. And so I'm always encouraging you, and I'm going to continue to encourage you. I got about another 5 minutes before we get back to where we get back to work, so we can get back on the hill. Always do what you are afraid to do. And then I'm gonna go to this next one, and then I'm gonna we're gonna get up out of here. Courage doesn't mean you don't get afraid. Courage means you don't let fear stop you. Again, what we talked about, what did we talk about before? Not letting fear stop us. Not letting the fear of, if it's holding us back, of change. You have to get out of your environment. You have to press past some of the things that you surround yourself with to make yourself better, to put yourself in a different space. And again, everything is not going to work. It's not going to feel good. Nothing feels good when you have to confront years of traumatic drama that's happened to you and things like that. Nothing is going to, there's nothing more fearful than looking at yourself and saying, I got to change this guy right here, right? Or I got to change this woman. Like you have to change that. And with everything that's going on, everything that you've beat, just think of it like this too. And I've somebody else shared this with me, so that's why I'm sharing it with you. Everything that was sent prior to this day that had you worrying, staying up all night, where is it at now? It's a distant memory. It didn't succeed. So when you facing that edge to do something, make the jump, make the leap. And if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. If your dreams do not scare you, they're not big enough. And so I tell you this, and I thank every last supporter of mine that thank you. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to help bring solutions, because ultimately that's helped me to be the person that I am. I'm grateful to be in the spaces that I am. I am grateful that I had to go through some things and adjust. I'm not the only one. You're not the only one. And if you're watching this, no matter what day or time or whatever, please stop comparing yourself to everybody else. Set your pace, set your mark. Because what my plans or what I have, and personally, what I have, it does me well when I'm serving other people. That's just what I like to do. I've always been that type of teammate. And so it does me well when I'm serving other people. It does me well that when I study an organization that I'm involved in, or I'm studying the plans and the visions that's been laid before me, when I'm standing on the shoulders of giants that came before me and showed me certain things to do, and now I have the ability to execute them, of course I'm going to get on a plane and I'm going to come and look folks in the face that may not like me. And I'm going to ask them the hard questions, because it's going to help the people in my community. Because if I'm in my community and I see what needs to happen, but the solution is not there, or we don't have the resources, we have to go and get the resources. We can't just sit back and watch somebody and hope somebody gives something to us. I've been doing that. I've been the front line person in my community for many years. Many years I've assisted and watched and helped and discussed at tables with individuals who've had the positions but never had the means. And so they needed frontline workers like myself to come in, to have conversations, to bring solutions. Now, we weren't the ones that would go out and publicly speak or be the ones that's, talking to the constituents and things of that nature, but we were delivering the information. We were providing the information. And now I'm putting myself in a position where we're going to cut out the middleman. We're going to cut out and go direct to the source. We have to now have people in positions that know the work, know the community. And when I say know the community, not know what street they grew up on, not just know the fact that what used to be there. I'm talking about understanding the dynamics on a regular and a daily basis, what's happening on that block. Be more specific that in this area, this is what's going on, and this is how we try to bring that solution. In this organization, this is how they're moving, how to connect those dots. I spent a lot of time researching and looking into silos and going into those silos and figuring out how they think and how they work and how they move. So what strategy I can I can bring and that I can use and that I can and couple together with all of them, all of the silos that will ultimately bring us together. And we've been doing it. We've been doing it for years. We just didn't know that's what we were doing. And we had some great successes, despite what people may look like. Because if you're always going to be worried about whose name up is in lights, that's going to always be your problem. Is the mission being completed, and who you doing the mission for, are they satisfied, and are they being helped? That's the goal. That is ultimately what the goal is. And you can't rush that. You have to spend time learning and adjusting to people and understanding the needs of people, and not just hearing them, but listening to them. And so don't be afraid to jump out in 2025 because you see what's all these things that's happening in this administration, what's happening on the federal government level, things of that nature. What are you dreaming about today? What are you moving? How are you moving yourself in position today to do something different? How are you going to be a part of the solution? Sure, we understand what the problems are. We hear what the bad people are saying, but what are you going to do about it? How are you going to get a better understanding of what God is giving you, your gifts and your dreams, and how you're going to handle certain situations and move the part of the assignment that you have control and accountability and responsibility for? How are you going to do that? And so that's what Trust the Process is all about. And again, if you haven't gotten over to that page, please like, share, and subscribe. Go over there, be a part of the community, join us, because we are all better together, no doubt. And so, again, it's 11:30. This is how I spend my lunch break. We probably about 5-minute walk, maybe about a 5-minute walk to get back on the hill, and we have lunch. We're having lunch this Saturday. So, you know, a lot of the hearings and things that we did on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We had a break on Friday, and so we're going to have lunch. We're meeting together as a leadership, and that's, you know, that's it. And so I'll tune back in probably a little later. If not, we're definitely going on the Hill on Tuesday, so you want to, you know, chime in on that. And I'm gonna see if I can get my interview with some of our Congress folks live and just get a little 5 minutes of their time, and you can hear from them right here on Trust the Process. Right? I'm Gil Garrett, Pontiac proud. I can't wait to get back home, see everybody, hug everybody. Thank y'all again. And keep praying for those families who lost their lives in such a tragic way in this airplane. And I tell you, it opened my eyes. It gave me a better perspective to do what I needed to do and march on and move forward. And I definitely want to thank the beautiful men and women of the Pontiac Golden Opportunity Club Tuesday for just the love and understanding and the wisdom that I got before this trip, because I was asking some questions specifically on what they wanted to know, what they wanted to hear about, but then also just being in the midst. So if you ever get a chance on Tuesdays about 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., get over to the Golden Opportunity Club and just sit back and watch how they maneuver, because this is the village. You know, this is the village of men and women who've placed us in position to do what we need to do for Pontiac, and we need to keep standing on them shoulders and keep relying on them. They may be, you know, further in time, but they still have a beautiful mind, beautiful heart. They're still smart. They may not be as quick as move like they used to, but they still have wisdom. They still have things to offer us. So you can never, ever, ever, ever count them out. And so I thank them for, before I left on Tuesday, I had a chance to visit with them and get individually, I know people had poured into me before I made this trip. So God bless y'all. Thank y'all again. Again, I'm Gil Garrett. This is Trust the Process. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.